I'm a little bit nervous about the future of photography. I'm nervous that some of these skills that we've spent time accumulating, they'll be worthless in a few years. I'm nervous that the professional photography career path isn't going to be the same in the next few years. I'm worried that some of us will be without a job that are professionals in the next few years. I'm worried about the pure essence of photography. So that's why I decided to create this video, because I knew that, with the way that technology is going, that photography would change. I just didn't know how much or how soon or how quickly, right? So I wanted to take a deep dive into AI and technology in photography in the future. I wanted to talk about camera tech in the future. I wanted to talk about the human side of photography in the future. And then I want to kind of wrap it all up and give you some future guidance. If you're new to the channel, I'm Martin. I'm a photographer of over 10 years, and I'm a hobbyist, but I would love to become a professional photographer. That's why it's very important for me to know what the future of photography looks like. Now, the first thing that got me nervous, we'll jump right into this, is something that I just found out about. It's called Image FX. And this is a software from Google that allows you to text to prompt an image. So you put in whatever you want to put. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I put in there. I put in dynamic world-class night street photography portrait of a lady and two friends, black and white flash photography in New York City, captivating eye contact, subtle yet realistic gestures, 35mm focal length, blah, 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 blah. You can see. Look at these images. Look at these images. This looks like an image that I would have loved to have taken, right? And you can just keep creating them. You get a different one if you click create. And I know a lot of you have probably seen services like this. Let me shrink that out. But to me, it's mind-blowing. As a street photographer, this is something that is going to change how people view our artwork. And it's just a fact. And it has me nervous because street photography has been my favorite genre of photography recently. Now, anyway, outside of that, I want to get back to the crux of our conversation. We'll start off with AI and technology. How will AI affect the future of photography? Well, as you clearly see on Image FX, in the future, and even now, you're going to be able to type in a text or say something into your phone or computer, and it's going to be able to generate an image, a really good image that looks like a real photo. That is coming in the near future. It is coming right now. It's here, right? And this is going to continue to increase. The internet will be flooded with artificially generated images. It's just a fact. Stock photography, you're in trouble, right? Landscape photography, you're in trouble. Street photographies, you're in trouble. I'm calling a spade a spade. If you do not adjust, if you do not double down on your skills, things look bleak. Anyway, let's get back to the crux of the conversation. I'm really passionate about this topic. So AI generated images, that's going to continue to increase. In the future and now, AI is going to continuously help us photographers increase our workflow or improve our workflow, increase our turnaround times. The way they're going to do that is through AI culling technology. So culling is the process of choosing your selects, right? If you're at a wedding, you might snap, 500 images, 1,000 images, whatever. These AI softwares will be able to go through and it'll be able to identify which are the keepers, right? You'll be able to prompt it a little bit and it'll be able to go through your whole slew of images and choose the ones that are the best. It'll also make batch editing increasingly more easy. These are things that it's kind of obvious because they're already happening now, but in the future is going to be more of it, right? With that, clients are going to expect a quicker turnaround time. I wouldn't be surprised if big clients, professional clients, I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking for 2-3 day turnaround tops. Gone are the days where you can wait a week or a month or whatever to turn around the images. In the future, if you're not quick, speed is going to kill. Things are happening so fast. We do not have time. as photographers to spend weeks and months editing images anymore. Those days are done. We have the tools, we have the technology to help us, and you have to embrace it if you want to exist as a professional, as a pro in the future, right? Another thing that I see happening in the future is virtual reality galleries. Galleries are important in photography, but historically they've been in-person events. With the way that the world is changing, more people are going to be looking for these unique experiences. So I even imagine myself potentially one day doing a virtual reality Meta or Apple Vision Pro type of VR gallery, where you can see my images in a curated space, maybe with a little ambiance, little music. And this is something I think will replace some photographers' online portfolio on their website. I don't know how advanced the technology is now, but I know that this will come because it only makes sense, right? As more people do put on these glasses and things, I know that augmented reality is a thing, but the VR, I think that does have a place in the future. And if you're a photographer that wants to be a little different, I think the VR gallery is going to be something that you should consider. Now, the last and most important part of the future of AI and technology in photography is going to be the content credentials and digital verification. Now, the Leica M11P, that was the first camera, as far as my knowledge, to ever integrate these type of features into their camera. What this allows you to do as a photographer is to authenticate your images. This is going to be ever increasingly more important, if that makes sense. Because with these softwares like ImageFX being able to generate images at the snap of a finger, viewers of your content are going to want to know if you are who you say you are. We have bots and stuff all over the place on social media. We have fake accounts popping up all over the place. You better bet your bottom dollar there's going to be people out there, if they're not already out there now, that are making content, photography content, just using artificially generated images. So that's where these features like the digital authentication and the content credentials are going to be very important. Now, I know that the Leica is doing it, but we're going to have to see these features be implemented into the Fuji cameras, into the Nikon camera, Canon and Sony cameras as well, because it's extremely important for us photographers to have that credibility, right? In a world of generated images. So this is a feature that I look forward to seeing in future cameras that I would look to purchase. And kudos to Leica for, leading the pack and creating a feature like this. And I don't know if you guys have actually looked into it, but the digital verification that Leica is doing, they're partnering with, I think, Adobe. And of course, Adobe has vested interest in keeping photography around. And it's a very, very, very unique, way to authenticate images. It's going to be able to share and show your location that you took the picture. It's going to be able to show the time, your shutter speed, ISO, aperture, you name it, and any edits that you make to the image in Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Lightroom. So this is going to be increasingly more popular and widespread, and I think that the future of cameras will start to include this more and more. Now that kind of gets me into category 2, which is camera gear. Like I said, I think more cameras will have these content credentials, but I also think in the future there's going to be more cameras available in general. More cameras for specialized purposes, more unique designs, and then of course more price ranges. You're going to have more really, really cheap cameras, and you're going to have more really, really expensive cameras. Because there's so many different types of photographers. Even though digital images are popping up everywhere, cameras are still popular. They're extremely popular. And with the amount of people that are trying to do content creation, posting to social media, people are going to need cameras. It's the only way that you can literally record yourself or take a picture, right, with the camera. In the future, I also see smartphone photography increasing and improving. Now, image sensor size, I don't know how they're gonna tackle that conundrum, because you can only get but so big of a sensor on a phone before it becomes a camera. But if you look at phones like the Pixel Pro, the new Pixel Pro, 50 megapixel images coming out of that thing, the images look incredible. I'll be sure to include some here. So I do see the future of smartphone photography increasing, and there's gonna be people that are making careers off of their phone, off of their smartphone. You're not gonna need the latest and greatest in tech. I do think that we are reaching a point where image quality is pretty much peaking. I don't see image quality in photography really increasing that much in the next 5 to 10 years as far as peak output for image quality. I mean, how much more realistic can an image get? I mean, we're pretty much there. But I think you're gonna start seeing more unique designs, right? You've seen that with the introduction of things like that new, what is it, the new Sigma? Is it a Sigma BF? I can't remember the name of it. The new Sigma camera. Cameras like the Nikon ZF, which has that retro design, right? And a slew of other cameras that are just unique in design, unique in form factor, ergonomics. You're gonna start seeing more unique designs in the future. And it's really because the way people used to design cameras in the past, especially the SLRs, you had the mirror in the inside of the camera. Now that so many cameras are being made mirrorless, you can put an EVF anywhere, or you can use an LCD to compose your images. You do not need the optical viewfinder or an EVF that looks like an optical viewfinder anymore. So you're gonna start seeing camera companies get really creative and really maximize ergonomics, okay? Another thing that I see increasing in the future is, or improving, is sharing capabilities. The one reason I believe that smartphones are gonna be so important, or the reason that they are so important now in photography, is because you can take a picture and post it to Instagram instantly. You can take a picture, do a video, and get it uploaded instantly, send it instantly. Cameras are gonna have to start being able to have these same features, right? I know a lot of cameras already have softwares and apps that you can send images over through Bluetooth really quickly, but that's gonna have to improve greater than what it's already at now, right? Because like I said, speed is going to be a thing. We need improved capability as far as transferring images from our camera to our phone or camera to our computer. We need increased and improved Wi-Fi connectivity and improved Bluetooth technology in our cameras. It's a must. So in the future, I do see our cameras being more connected, right? Like I said, with the geotagging that you're gonna be able to do in camera with your content credentials, all these things are gonna be so crucial, because in the future, like I said, it's not gonna slow down as far as people sharing images. That's gonna increase. So that's something that I see happening in the future. Another thing that I see happening with cameras in the future is I see more companies doing the film simulations. Now, a lot of companies have film simulations, but I think you're gonna be able to program them into your camera in the future to be able to do edits much quicker, right? Fuji, they got it on lock right now. But I think all the other camera companies, you're gonna have to be able to edit the images, process them at least a little bit in camera. And I think companies allowing you to import your own camera presets or film simulations into the camera is gonna be a game changer, and it's something I see improving and continuously happening in the future. And what else about this? The last thing, you're gonna start seeing more cameras with the internal storage, right? It's almost a no-brainer. It's just one less thing for photographers to worry about. You know, we're always worried about, oh, dual car slots, and this and this. No, now the cameras will just have internal storage built in, right? Some of the Leicas already have it, Sigmas already have it. That's here to stay. Cool. That's what I see happening in the future of camera gear. Now, let's talk about the human side of photography. How will that change in the future? In this world that's flooded with AI generated imagery, will the pure essence of photography still exist? And I think so. I think so, especially with our communities, our film communities, right? Because these are a tactile way to experience the art of photography, right? There is no doubt about who created an image when you take a picture and it's on a piece of, it's on your film. Another thing that I see happening is an increase in Instack or instant printing, because it goes back to that tactile, raw, shareable nature of photography. A lot of times we don't even print out our images anymore, right? And if you don't print them, they live on the internet. But when you print them, it makes it real. And then when you share it, now you're sharing the art of photography. Now this is something that I see increasing in the future. That's why myself, I bought an Instax link wide so I could print out my images and hand them out to people. And I'm thinking about getting an instant camera as well, because that genre of photography is pure. There's really no editing, there's no nothing, it's right there. It's pure photography. It's not image generation. That's something that I see increasing in the future. And lastly, what I'll say about this, as far as the human side of photography, the real moments are going to continue to matter. For the photographers that are out there capturing weddings, you're capturing portraits for people, events that people are hiring you for. These are things that I don't see going anywhere. People are going to still need photographers for these things. The tech may change, some of the software, it might change a little bit, but people are still going to need photographers that have skills in composition, lighting, and understanding emotion. They're going to still need that. So I'll leave you guys with this. What's the future guidance of photography? I don't think the essence of photography will ever fade away. Major camera companies like Leica, your Nikons, Sony, whatever, they have a vested interest in keeping photography alive, right? Leica, they just made their most money I think they ever made. They brought in the most money last year. So photography, the business is booming. People love cameras, people love photography. And people love capturing their life. Even if the computers and this AI generators and stuff, they can create images, it's nothing like something that's real and means something to you. A moment that you experienced, that you captured, that is always going to live. It's just like somebody drawing on a piece of paper, right? Drawing a doodle on a piece of paper. Yeah, there's gonna be people already doing artificial doodles and stuff, but for the people that like to doodle, they're gonna continuously doodle, right? It's not going anywhere. I think AI may alter people's perception of photography, and maybe it may slightly devalue photographers. But on the flip side, I do see where it could potentially increase the value of photographers who double down on their skills. So my future guidance, if I could leave you with one thing, photographers, you need to embrace continuous learning. You're gonna have to get new skills, and you're gonna have to adapt. Nothing stays the same in this life, right? You don't look the same way you looked when you were 5. I don't look the same way I looked last week. I'm way uglier. But technology is gonna continuously impact photography, and it's up to us photographers to stay up to date with all of the new innovations and stuff, and doubling down on our craft. And if we do that, I think the future of photography actually looks bright. I do. So I know it can be a little nerve-wracking, but the future of photography looks bright. I'm Martin. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you made it to this point in the video, I'd like to just say thank you. I appreciate you. And if you could, give me a subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers or 10,000 subscribers. And right now, I think I'm at like 800 subscribers. I'd love to get to 10,000. That would be a dream of mine. So like, comment, and let me know your thoughts below. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.